It started at 3 o'clock today. It will run until 7 tonight. So our Amanda Rowley is live right now from the market, which is right next to the U.S. Pavilion. So Amanda, how's it going out there?
Okay, so we have this one.
Oh, it's going great, Whitney. There's a lot to expect here for folks that are maybe just getting off work. Like I said, the winter market goes until 7 p.m. And the vendors, there's several vendors here all spread outside next to the pavilion and inside. And that's where we are. We're on the second floor. I remember when this was all under construction, so it's exciting to see this space now put to use. We've got the Scone Ranger up here. We've got Big Barn Brewery in the back and some pottery. And take a look down below. Follow me down here. We have some natural skincare products, raw honey, and of course some delicious cookies. I may be stopping by there.
Traffic maps, and it looks that way pretty much across our entire region. So if you're heading out the door right now, you shouldn't expect any major backups. An update this morning on the former Gonzaga baseball player accused of vandalizing the state capitol. We now know he is 29-year-old Gunnar Schubert. He is now charged with second-degree burglary and third-degree malicious mischief. He's accused of breaking into the Capitol building on Sunday with a hammer. Officials say he caused about $750,000 worth of damage. The Washington State Patrol says the attack didn't seem like it was politically motivated, but said Schubert was having a mental health crisis. The teenage hit-and-run suspect on Spokane's South Hill appeared in court yesterday. Defense attorneys asked for more time to review the evidence, so the judge set a new trial date for January 26th. The 17-year-old is accused of hitting.
Well, it has been a whirlwind of a week for Nick Rolovich. On Monday, he was officially announced as WSU's new head football coach.
And today, our Brenna Green had a chance to meet him face to face as he prepares to lead the Cougs into a new era of football.
Tom, Whitney, if there's such thing as winning a press conference today, it certainly felt like Nick Rolovich did it. He was heartfelt, confident. Most importantly, he sounded like he's ready to take the reins of this program. After the press conference, I spoke one-on-one with Rolovich. Coach Rolovich, just first of all, how the first few days been here in Pullman?
Busy, very busy, but there's a lot to do. There's not a lot of time to sleep. You got to make sure you talk to the current team, talk to the signees as best you can, continue on the recruiting process, build the staff.
Recommending how the school can address budget and enrollment shortfalls. KREM 2's Shannon Mowdy is explaining what this means exactly, including possible budget cuts moving forward. Shannon?
Well, this report comes after a task force spent the last year deeply examining every university, program, and service. It's the season of change at Eastern Washington University. For the last year, an internal task force has been looking at cleaning some things up too.
This doesn't necessarily mean we're looking at major problems, but there are going to be some painful and difficult decisions that are going to have to be made.
Dave Meany with EWU Communications says the school's president tasked a group of faculty and staff to look at strategic resource allocation, taking a microscope to every.
Anybody with information should call the number there at the bottom of your screen. Well, the Grant County Jail found an inmate dead inside a special cell for people in crisis. The Grant County Sheriff's Office says he was the only one in that cell. Staff tried to perform life-saving measures, but they did not work. The Central Basin investigative team is now investigating. The inmate was originally booked into the jail on October 31st. Also this morning, investigators are still working to figure out what caused a deadly plane crash in Kentucky. As of right now, we know at least 7 people died and others were hurt. The plane was a UPS cargo plane taking off from Louisville's Muhammad.
The deadly incident that we've been covering all day. The road is fully back open tonight, but an investigation into how this deadly explosion happened continues at this hour. Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News at 5. I'm Mark Hanrahan.
And I'm Whitney Ward. The Washington State Patrol is still trying to identify the driver of that tanker truck. KREM 2's Regan Gallo has been out on I-90 all day talking to people about what happened. Regan?
Yeah, well, I want to emphasize that all lanes have finally opened this evening. And right now, I'm right outside the 272 Medical Lake exit, outside this gas station where many truckers were rerouted earlier this morning after the collision because both westbound and eastbound lanes were closed.
Washington State Patrol said at about 8 a.m. this morning, the semi-truck that had both diesel and gasoline tanks on it began rotating and the cab of the truck hit a rock wall. This is
Up with Krem begins now.
Good morning. Welcome to Up with Krem. It is 6 a.m. now. I'm Nicole Hernandez. We want to start off this week by getting a look at weather. We've got Regan Gallo in for meteorologist Thomas Patrick. And Regan, you've been talking about this false fall. What is going on here?
It is a false fall. Yesterday, it really rained hard in some regions of the inland northwest, and we're going to see a little bit of those showers linger this morning, but then it's going to dry up this afternoon, and we're going to hit those mid to upper 60s and 70 in some areas. So right now, 53 in Spokane, 83% relative humidity because we have that stickiness and that moisture still sticking around. But our highs today, like I said, we're going to see 68 in Spokane, 71 in Colville, and down south 71 in Lewiston as well. So it does warm up. We are going to be seeing those mid to upper 80s tomorrow. However,
Bob Ferguson got an up-close look at the North Spokane corridor this morning as he visited Spokane to highlight the state funding for the project.
It's been a project long in the conception and long in the making. But the good news is the end is now in sight.
Ferguson said lawmakers invested another $250 million into the North Spokane corridor, meaning the final 3 phases of the project are finally funded.
So that's a huge step forward for us. Our job is now, to set our course, to stay on pace, to meet that 2030 deadline. We're going to do everything in our power to make that happen. For advancing regional growth, for stimulating our economy, for making life just a little bit better for people in Spokane. All of those benefits and many others are core to this project.
On KREM 2 Plus for a new episode of Field Notes. We'll be taking an in-depth look at this record heat. Download KREM 2 Plus for free and watch it on your TV. And new at noon, Washington Governor Bob Ferguson got an up-close look at the North Spokane corridor this morning as he visited Spokane to highlight the state funding for the project.
It's been a project long in the conception and long in the making. But the good news is the end is now in sight.
Ferguson said lawmakers invested another $250 million into the North Spokane corridor, meaning the final 3 phases of the project are finally funded.
So that's a huge step forward for us. Our job is now, to set our course, to stay on pace, to meet that 2030 deadline. We're going to do everything in our power to make that happen. For advancing regional growth, for stimulating our economy, for making life just a little bit better for people in Spokane. All of those benefits and many others are core to this project.
Since the house went down.
Well, Shannon, this used to be the spot of the home where 4 University of Idaho students were killed last year. Now, I had the chance to speak with a lawyer for some of the victims' families today. He says they felt the demolition of the home is a gut punch after their fight to keep it standing.
Scheduled to begin in August, with the outcome of this week's hearings potentially shaping the prosecution's case. Well, right now, the Spokane Fire Department is investigating a deadly fire on Spokane's South Hill. A woman and her 2 dogs were found dead at West 27th Avenue. KREM 2's Brandon T. Jones has been at the scene earlier this morning and brings us the latest.
Well, the fire trucks may be off the scene right now, but what you can see and what is likely to take place for several days are neighbors processing what exactly took place here. 12:42 a.m. this morning, that's when fire crews told us they first got the call about a home in flames. They responded within 4 minutes, but by the time they got here to this area, they said the woman who lived inside of the home was killed because of the fire. And